During the Biden administration, the right built an entire machine to question the official narrative. That machine still exists and it is going to be used against you, but people are questioning you, and it's literally hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people.
Everything we've learned since the shooting of Charlie Kirk, to me, there's been so many inconsistencies. Now, I'm not fond of the way the FBI has handled this, and I've said it out there, and it seems Kash Patel, according to Fox News reporting, is in some hot water. A lot of inconsistencies. The guy walks, we watch him on a video, Mark, limping upstairs with a gun down his leg. We watch him come off a roof with no gun in his hand or his pants. I mean, there's so many inconsistencies about what we're being told. Something just doesn't smell right to me.
What doesn't smell right is the United States federal government. And that is the main rub we have. Because there's always been, you remember the crime of the century back in 19 whatever, like back in the vaudeville times, right? We had like O.J. Simpson, where the entire nation was wrapped with attention on all the evidence that was being brought. The difference is that nobody trusts the federal government because we saw the FBI weaponized against American people, against political opponents. And I've been saying this over and over again. I said it on your show. Just slapping Kash Patel at the head does not automatically absolve the FBI of guilt. And Americans, it hasn't been proven to America that the FBI has been fixed. And now we're finding that not only were they not fixed, they were weaponized against conservative organizations through Arctic Frost, when they should have been cracking down on radical left-wing terrorists, which was completely not done. Any idiot can go to Reddit, like you were saying right now, to subreddit r, let's just say, anarchism. There is a subreddit for that, 300,000 members. And on the front page are links to the dark web, to all of their little online communities where they organize and plot, stuff. And we instead chose for it to be a federal law enforcement priority to put Meemaw in jail for January 6th. And so now it's like, you look at Kash, and I understand his time's limited, but the window is rapidly closing for us to fix this stuff.
Reportedly.
Yeah. He gets in charge of this organization, and what is he doing? He's like, he's trying to show performatively how good they're doing with police work. Look how well we worked with Salt Lake City. Look at, I got the governor here, blah, blah, blah. And the message you're putting out is just full of holes. And so, yes, obviously, during the Biden administration, the right built an entire machine to question the official narrative. That machine still exists, and it is going to be used against you. And I understand you want to keep this evidence private. I understand that you might not want to say what's in the autopsy that may or may not have existed. I understand you might not want to say what caliber the bullet is you collected or whether you did it all. But people are questioning you, and it's a big deal. It's not like 10 conspiracy theorists. It's literally hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people who are independents that voted for Trump and are like what's going on here?
Yeah, you bring up a good point. The bullet, was the bullet ever recovered? Where did the bullet go? It hit through your neck like that. Wouldn't the bullet come out the other side? I mean, in the case of JFK, he was shot with a far different bullet, which I guess amounts down to a 22, right? Where it scrambles around. But he was shot with a 30-60, which, I mean, is a massive, massive bullet, would have went through and landed somewhere. Have they recovered that?
I mean, I spent 15 minutes today looking at the carcasses of deer that were shot with 30-06. And the first conclusion that comes to my mind is that was not a 30-06 wound. And so automatically I have questions. But if it was a straight on shot, like the official narratives is, the bullet ostensibly may hit something and scattered, but is either in him or behind him somewhere, like in a wall that was 10 feet behind him or in the dirt. And I don't know. They haven't said they found it or not. But now there's videos out there saying, well, it came from a different direction. It's in this window that are being viewed by 6, 7, 800,000. Emerald Robinson had one of them on today. And it's raising questions. Congressman Jason Chaffetz was out there the day of the event, and he's like, no, it came from close, and it was a small caliber. And maybe he's not a firearms expert, but it raises questions. Yeah. A lot of reasons to question the official narrative.
That is, I spoke to a good friend as it was happening. A good friend of mine's an international arms dealer, so he knows his guns. And, we're talking about it, and he said, if it's a 5.56, there's a chance he lived. He lived by the way the bullet would have went if it missed, and this was before anything. As soon as he found out it was a 30-60, he said, there's no possible chance you can do that. That'll, blow a hole through anything, but yet you look at it, and I don't, mean to to
Yeah.
rehash and go through and get the gory details of it, but something just didn't seem right, and it didn't seem right from the inception on how things were playing out. Now, I don't know if this is a Cash Patel issue, Mark. I got to be honest with you. I've been thinking over the last few days about the rift that happened with Cash and Pam a few months ago about the Epstein files. The way I see it, in my opinion, you tell me what you think about this, is that I think there's some sort of pressure on Cash Patel because that rift that they had with Pam Bondi and Cash and Todd Blanche, President Trump was reportedly not happy. It was the day that Bangino didn't come to work the next day and all that stuff. I know Cash very well, and this doesn't seem like the same Cash Patel I know. It's like screaming, "Blink if you're in trouble," and it's something just doesn't seem right. This is not the Cash Patel that I know, and I'm not writing him off yet, but it seems like he's being controlled by a higher power, in my opinion.
I mean, listen, I think him and Bongino, they have major audiences. They're very public figures. They communicate through video to humans and tailor their messages. They understand that people are concerned. And so I would have to imagine that there are ways that you could message better to prevent this kind of question of mistrust. And so I think it's probably reasonable to expect that they have some kind of moratorium on sharing information. I really do, which means it comes from her or the top or somewhere. But it's like really raising questions. And just to distill like the biggest one, the official narrative is he was shot from the direct on front. And the prevailing narrative I'm hearing is that it's an exit wound on the front of his neck, not an entrance wound.
Really? That's interesting. I don't know anything about that. I mean, I've obviously heard the same thing that you have and seen the same videos you have. I don't know. I'm just a handgun guy. I've shot a few ARs in my life, a few bolt action rifles. That's about it. You can't really own those in New York, so it's kind of tough.
Yeah.